Well, I wanted to do a little bit of research on this Colleen Thomas because there's no way anybody's behaving the way she's behaving without something pretty severe had to have happened in her life. Um, I knew better than to laugh and make fun of, and yet I fell into the trap. It was kind of funny, kind of crazy, and I fell into a trap that I know without a doubt I should have never did. And that's where it's like, don't follow me. Don't let me be the leader of anything because I'll get it wrong too. And to me, I think this is like the biggest sin you can possibly ever do to another human being. And um, she has on her, I'll put a link below, but her own bio tells you what has gone on with this girl. And she grew up in a rather large family. I think there was 5 kids in her family, and she has 5 children. Let me continue with that one too. But so she was raised in poverty, so she always had to fight to try and get accepted, which is something, even Tony Robbins was playing the same game, that in order to fit in, you have to have that wealth, So, and her father was in the military, so she has access to information, military information, just from, her father being in the military. Moved around an awful lot, so there was zero stability. Plus, to the war mentality, you can see she's at war with something. She will always be at war with something because that's what her father taught her to do, because he was always, if he's, made his living in the army, he had a war mentality. So he's going to teach his children, you always must be at war with something. And you can never ever solve any problems. It's always going to be about fight, 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 fight. So, she grew up in poverty. She obviously had zero self-esteem. She said she, didn't finish high school or something like that because, it doesn't look like she knew she was intelligent enough to even go to school, which probably explains why she's got, boob implants. Is, her universe is saying that you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, so she's got to fight that and do everything that it takes to be accepted, to prove that you're smart enough, to prove that, I can be accepted, get the boobs, people will accept me. She with her information that she's doing now, I mean, if you look at some of any of what she's saying, she's actually saying, this many people have come to hear what I've got to say. And she doesn't really recognize that, if you take your clothes off, they ain't listening to anything you've got to say. They're looking at your body. And you may think that that is, attracting, money into your life for bigger or better causes. But the bigger or better cause is only the stuff that makes you think that that's what would make you accepted. But it's like us as humanity have to get a little bit smarter, because for us to laugh at somebody, make fun of somebody else's hardships, what does that say about us, the judges? She did apparently go back to school and became a nurse. She kind of knew, hey, I do know something. I am smart. So she got a little bit of self-esteem. She, had 3 failed marriages, so she can't make relationships work. She's, kind of struggling with that one. And, but she, always had, this fighting and survive mode. And then her daughter died. And that's when all of this happened, is she completely lost all will to live. I can't even imagine the pain of losing your child. It would just bring me to tears if I lost my children. And the level that you would go into of that pain reflects how much love you have. The level of how much passion, and she thinks she's saving the world, but that's what she really thinks she's doing, is trying to save everybody from something. And it's stemming from the loss of her child. She doesn't want to see that pain anymore in anybody. And she's also openly admitted that there's a very long family history of mental illness in her genetics. So it's like, what does that make humanity to laugh at somebody like that? To see somebody that's just doing her best, trying to survive this friggin' system. It's us that says you have to have money for us to accept you. We are not being accepting for her just being a loving person and seeing the efforts that she's, at least it's an effort to do something, although misguided. It's still, can anybody see that she has a passion to want to do something for, humanity? She lost her daughter. Do you not think that in a mental illness, trying to find answers, you're going to fight and be the strongest? You would say, in order for me to be able to stop this, I would have to be the mother of the universe. And then you start hearing voices. It's so easy for that that type of mentality, that type of behavior to go on. And personally, I am ashamed of laughing, because that means that I'm not accepting. And the more that I don't accept her as a human being for her flaws and everything else, the more that's going to be a drive for her to say, well, I'll go for the money then. If we're not going to go with love between each other, then I'll go for the money. I'll go for the boobs. I'll go for everything that you say is the way I'll be accepted. But she just wants to be friggin' accepted and friggin' loved by humanity. And maybe that's the tipping point that we're looking at, that she's made the news. What does that make the news look like? To put somebody on the media just so that we can laugh and make fun of another human being. It's like the news is more insane than Colleen Thomas ever would be. Anybody who's laughing at this woman is more insane than this woman ever is. And I ain't saying that what she's saying is truth. I'm saying her pain that she's going through has her so misguided. And all she needs is a little love, a little acceptance, without money, without her body, without, her knowing she doesn't have to be the mother of the universe for us to love and accept her. Can we love her for her flaws? I can. I can see where she's coming from. And I'm really, really sorry for laughing. I knew better. I seen pain in her right away, and I think every one of us did know that too. Every one of us knows, oh, this person might be a little crazy. Well, what does crazy actually mean? What causes crazy? How would you act when you lose your child? How would you act when you were raised in a war mentality? Wouldn't you think the only way a solution is to fight and be at war with something that's obviously bigger than, what we can ever understand? Wouldn't you want to be saved by something? Ultimately, when you find yourself and you get yourself a little healed, you start realizing that it is all about you saving yourself. But we are a oneness, and we are all going to go in that direction if we don't learn how to come together and save ourselves unitedly. And it does start by shifting how we view other people, how we judge, how we laugh, how we accept other people. Karma's a bitch, and we'll get what we deserve when it comes back at us. So I do apologize, and I see where you're coming from. I'm, just like my abusive husband, I'm not going to put up with bad behavior. And I do think that what Colleen is doing is very bad behavior, so I have to stand up for that. But I love you as a person. I love you for trying. I love your passion. I would just rather see you, try not to get in so much of a war mentality, because you're just going to create a reason for you to fight, which is only going to create more reasons why you need to be saved. And it's like, at the end of the day, just sit back and save yourself. And hopefully, somebody else will maybe get this mindset that I see, and maybe, unitedly, wouldn't that be amazing if we hit the news and hit as much media and said, hey, yeah, let's look at ourselves. Maybe we should show this woman a little bit of love. Not money. Money is the problem. Don't be sending money, because money is her way of feeling accepted. Show other ways of accepting another human being. Love is kind of a good way of doing it, I think, anyways. Does for me. When I get an email of somebody saying something positive to me, you can't pay me enough money to get that feeling. I mean, in my heart, to know that, hey, I'm accepted, I have value, I feel connected with another human being. You can't buy that shit. That level of love is like gold to me. That's my gold and silver, is the love card. And just be the peace and be the love. Sorry if anybody's against just be the peace and be the love. I'm with you on that one, because love takes action. Love actually solves the problem. And that's what I'm suggesting is, you actually, if anybody out there that has laughed, you have to make good on it. You have to recognize your own friggin' insanity, and the amount of energy you put out criticizing, you got to put back in and put some accepting and love back out into the world. Otherwise, are the ones that look a little crazy. And we'll never find our way out of this if we're all friggin' insane. We have to get to know what our insanity is and what it looks like and how to change it. It can be healed. You just got to know what you're doing is wrong. Peace out.